Hello everyone, I'm not quite sure when you're watching this video, so have a good day or a good afternoon. I'm sorry about that. I need to turn off the... I hope. Sorry about that again. So this is the video for the 9th until the 15th of November. The astrological review with a bit of help of the tarot. So this week we're having a few major aspects, and one of it is, I believe, already started, the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto, and I have a feeling that this conjunction is going to be affecting us for a long time, probably until Jupiter leaves the sign of Capricorn in middle of December. But until that time, I have a feeling it's going to be affecting us. And as Jupiter is the planet of expansion and Pluto is the planet of depth, of what is hidden very much under the surface, it's going to, how can I say it? It's going to be difficult for us to understand it. It's going to feel like probably the swamp being drained. The other aspect is Venus opposite Mars retrograding still. And we have the Sun trining retrograding Neptune. So it's kind of a feeling of this week having to do with us needing to kind of accept ourselves, to kind of understand ourselves and other people, and express the feelings that we've kept hidden, accept and express the feelings that we believe are not very welcome to others. I have that kind of a feeling, and with the kind of fighting between Venus and retrograding Mars, it might be that those feelings for loved ones might come up as an explosion. Let's not forget that it's kind of a weird week because UK at least and Greece are already in lockdown. I haven't followed much of Europe, but I believe most of Europe is on lockdown, and it might be that the aspects of Saturn, Jupiter and Pluto is what kind of brought it on. And of course not to forget Mars being retrograde and squaring Saturn, Jupiter and Pluto at some point. We're going to have Mars turning direct on the 13th to 14th. On my system, from where I'm getting the aspects, I have it as stationary on the 14th. So we're counting that Mars is coming direct from the 15th. And on the 15th as well, we have the new moon in Scorpio, 23 degrees. I will try to make a short mention of that at the end, because I've drawn one card for it as well. And of course we have Venus squaring the three major planets, Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn. I believe that's the peak of that aspect is on the 13th of November, on Friday. Not to forget that Friday is the day of Venus. And on that Friday, Venus is making a conjunction with the moon as well. So it's kind of intense week as well. I have a feeling November is intense on its own. So to not keep you waiting much more. First of all, please press a like, press a subscribe to the channel, and let me know on any comments what you think, what you believe, what you would like to see in the channel more, what I'm doing well, what I'm not doing well, what is tiring you or what you despise. So we're starting with the moon as usual I'm doing, and the transition is making from Leo on Monday, going into Virgo on that day, and finishing with the new moon on Sunday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning Greek time. UK time is 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:09, and you can make it into whatever time zone you are in. I'm not quite sure where you're watching from, so I can't really say. Please leave a comment with where you're watching from, so I'll know. The major aspects that are starting from Monday, if not that they have already started and they're just going to the peak on next week, is, as I said, the fight between Mars and Venus, the opposition they're making. Venus in Libra, her home, and Mars in his home in Aries, but retrograding. So it's kind of feeling like the energy we want to use in order to plan something, in order to start something, in order to make something beautiful, is kind of being stopped. It's kind of not being released, not being on the exact trajectory that we want to be. On that same day, we have Mercury squaring the three major planets, Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn, and it feels like because Mercury is still in its shadow, it hasn't gotten into the degree that he started the retrogression. It kind of feels like, how can I say it, our ideas are not very clear. They are trying to get clear, but we have something stopping them. It might be that we can't really express them. It might be that we can't really express how deep they go, or we can't really get them structured. So that is an aspect I believe we'll have something to do next week. And of course the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto. That conjunction is a bit, I'm guessing it's hard. It's the last conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto for quite a long time, because Jupiter makes a whole round on the zodiac every 12 years, and Pluto is going into Aquarius, the next sign, in about another 3-4 years, to 2024 I believe, and staying there for another 8 years if I'm not wrong, or a bit more might be, because it went into Capricorn in 2012, so it's every 12 years. The next one will be 2036, if I'm not wrong, because I'm not very good at the timing of the planets. But I'm pretty sure that for that conjunction to happen again, it's going to take about 12 years. So if we're still here on 2032, we might see it again, but in a different, completely different zodiac sign. I kind of feel like these two planets in conjunction, it's kind of getting us, making us, forcing us to go deep within ourselves and bring up things, and also to expand our insides, as in, how can I explain it? exactly this, going deep and expanding it, as in opening up your heart, opening up everything inside and raising your vibration. That's the feeling I'm getting. Because we have Mercury also opposing retrograding Uranus this week, or starting to oppose it. So it kind of feels like the vibrations that we keep need to kind of be let go of. We need to let go of things. We need to become a bit lighter. Take off burdens that we keep inside us for a long time. It's kind of a huge clearance. That's how I'm feeling it. And we can't really say that we don't like it or we prefer something else, because it's the last chance we're getting to go in deep and restructure our own selves and clear it out with Jupiter and Pluto. And to have Saturn there as well on the side, it feels like a huge combustion. Imagine what happens in the earth, what happened in the earth last week with seismic activity. Try to imagine that within you and try to use that to express yourself and to let go of past hurts, past things that you're carrying on like a burden. We have also on the 10th the Sun trining retrograding Neptune, and it kind of feels like there's a light shed on a very murky water for me, because Neptune retrograding can be quite shady, can be quite murky. So it kind of feels like we're still in the process of clearing out things in order to see clearer. On that night, in Greece at least, we're having the Mercury going into Scorpio, and it kind of getting in the process of getting out of its shadow. It's going to take a bit more time to do that, but it's in the process. So it kind of feels like a lot of murky water being cleared. It's going to feel like a lot of insides being torn apart. It's going to feel like you can't hold things. You need to let go of things. You might have ideas coming in that you can't really see how they're benefiting you, but give them a try and see how it goes with that. That's the only thing I can say, because we're having Mercury opposing Uranus, and Uranus is the one with kind of the vibration. It's the new things coming in, it's the weird things coming in, and it's a huge week to let go of things and allow new things to come in. It might be that we're on lockdown and we feel like we cannot do much, but I believe that if we use the time correctly, if we use the time we're getting in order to clear what we've been kind of pulling behind us like a huge bowl like they had in the, I don't know, Ebenezer Scrooge and Marlowe in the Christmas fairy tale of, what was the name? Dickens. So imagine that kind of a ghost carrying the burdens and then being able to unload. Use this time, use this lockdown, use this pause that we're brought into to let go of things and to unload your burdens. It's the last chance we're getting. It's the last chance before Jupiter and Saturn go into Aquarius. A whole new universe is opening up then. That's how I feel it. What was next? I talked about the opposition. We have the moon opposing retrograding Mars on the 12th. And it's kind of like a pattern to me these last few weeks, that every weekend is kind of more intense than the whole week. That's how I feel it, at least. So use those days to try and figure out what you're feeling inside. But really, the meaning I'm getting from these aspects, the feeling I'm getting from these aspects, is to unburden yourselves, to clear out yourselves, to raise your vibrations, and to not allow feelings of jealousy, feelings of being not enough, feelings of being not worth things. Let go, because you are worth a lot. We are all worth a lot. We all have our own worth, and it's not something that anyone can take away from us. I'm talking about, of course, the square between Venus and the major planets, Pluto, Saturn and Jupiter on the 13th, Friday. And Friday is, of course, the day of Venus. So it's kind of double meaning on that part. On the 13th, 14th, we have the dates that Mars is turning direct again. On those days, Mars is stationary. I believe it's starting to go direct again on the 15th. And the 15th is the day of the new moon in Scorpio. It's not a weird new moon, but it's a very intense new moon, because it's in Scorpio. The sun is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sign of alchemy, is the sign of very deep waters. It's the sign that it's very mysterious, to me at least. And in the chart that I have, the ascendant is in Scorpio. The moon and the sun are in the first house. And we have Mercury in the 12th house, because it's just before the ascendant, at least on the Greek chart that I have. I have a feeling that it's going to be a new moon that will bring opportunities to not only lighten our souls, but to express feelings, to allow feelings of love to come in, to allow people to connect with us. That's the feeling I'm getting for this new moon. I'm not going to tire you much more with the aspects. I'm going to try at least and get some Instagram aspects during the week. So I'm going to go through the cards that I've pulled for the tarot. And the first card I'm having is the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords for any card, for any deck, any tarot deck. It's talking about someone that has been hurt before. It's a very kind of heavy card, I would say. Here as well, it's talking about a lot of swords that are kind of fighting between them, and there's a heart in there that is trying to shine through, but it feels like it's being stopped by the swords. And it's talking about, if I'm not very wrong, Sun in Libra. Yes, that's Sun in Libra, because if you see up here, it's the Sun and the sign of Libra as well. I'm not quite sure if this is the moon in Gemini. So this is kind of, I'm not sure if it's in full moon. It's not a full moon, but it could be expressed like that. At the moment we're having a new moon on the 15th, but this one is talking about ruin. And it kind of feels to me that we need to close a cycle and move on to a new cycle. The meaning of the Ten of Swords is exactly that. Close a cycle, leave the hurt behind and move on to something new. So it's exactly the feeling I'm getting from this week, from the aspects of this week, to let go of things that are burdening us and move on to something new and something better and something lighter. The second card I pulled was the Four of Discs, a very earthy card, a very protected card, I would say, and it's the Sun in Capricorn. It's talking about power, but it's talking about the power to protect yourself, the power to keep safe, the power to structure everything in a way that will you'll be able to defend it. So I'm feeling that it's talking about the three major planets in Capricorn and how we can use them to protect ourselves and to make ourselves more defensible. It's not very easy to see this card between two cards of swords, because I have the Ten of Swords in the front, and then I have the Seven of Swords after it, which is talking about futility, and it's talking about the moon in Aquarius, but for some reason I'm seeing a sun here. So it could be that it's a new moon in Aquarius. And of course, we have the Mars here, we have Jupiter here. This is Mercury for sure. I'm not quite sure. This is Venus, and I'm not quite sure about the other two at the moment. But as I always say with these cards, they tend to give you things more and more. So I'm not quite sure if it's talking about Jupiter going into Aquarius, or if it's talking about the new moon that is happening. It's happening in Scorpio, but it's still on a fixed sign and making a square to Aquarius. So I have a feeling it's talking about a new kind of mentality. I have a feeling it's talking not about the futility of the card, not about what most Seven of Swords talk about someone stealing, about someone living like a thief, about someone picking up things and just disappearing in the night. I feel that it's talking about a new way of thinking, a new way of mentality, a new way of going through things. And that's the feeling I'm getting for the whole week. To become lighter, to lose your burdens, to embrace a new way of living and thinking. The last two cards is the two princesses, Princess of Cups and Princess of Swords, and I'm not quite sure how they relate to this week. I'm not quite sure if you can see them at the moment either. But when I saw them, I had a feeling of the feminine energy, of the receiving energy, of the female energy of Cups, and Swords is not really a female energy, it's more a male energy, but it, in a way, because they're both females here, how can I express it? I have a feeling it has to do with Mars and Venus, how they can they might be fighting at the moment on the sky, but as my mentor and very good friend that I feel is a good friend, Zoe Hines, says, the best way to use an opposition is to make it huge conjunction. So try not to keep them apart, Mars and Venus, where it's happening in your charts, where you have Libra and Aries, but try to use them in a way to make a super conjunction and make them to work together. It will give you immense power to be able to direct your energy where you want and make sure that you plant it with Venus on the exact same spot that you want to. As in, use your capacity, use your mental capacity, use your ideas, use your energy to make something that you can find very beautiful, that will last, that will give you fruits. That's the feeling I'm getting from these two. Don't try to see it as an opposition, try to see it as a super conjunction. Those are the 5 cards that I'm usually using. Of course, I have the end of the deck, which is the Empress, and of course, to me, it's talking about the moon and the female energy, and about the power of our intuition and how we can use it to progress and how we can use it to move on. This is the whole meaning of the whole week, I believe. It's just getting us to release things through the dark moon on Friday and Saturday, and to make something new with the new moon on Sunday in Scorpio. So use that energy of the female, use that receiving energy, use that calmness, use that it's a fierce energy but calm as well. Women don't fight like men do. We tend to use different ways to fight, so find those ways to fight. Don't fight the old-fashioned way. Find new ways that can lead to a victory. I know it's a difficult time, but we've been through it before, and I'm pretty sure that we've learned before how we can use things to make our lives better. The card I pulled for the new moon in Scorpio is this one. It's the Lovers. And as I said, it's kind of feeling to me that this new moon is about connecting to people. It's about allowing our intuition to speak to us in order to connect to new people, connect to others, connect to ourselves even. It's something that I've said in the last video, last week. To be kind to yourself, to find yourself, to love yourself. And it kind of reminds me of that one now. The Lovers might be the card of Gemini, but don't forget that we all carry both female and male energies. So use this opposition between Mars and Venus to kind of bring them together and put them in a, how can I say it, not only a super conjunction, but to allow them to be friends, allow them to work together in a way. Don't try to make them enemies. They can work together. Male and female energies are meant to work together, not to become enemies and opponents. Sorry, I'm missing some words at times. That's the feeling I'm getting for this week. I will give it a try to make a small video for the new moon before Sunday. But I believe that this, yes, almost 30 minutes now. It's been quite well, and I've explained as much as I can. So give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and let me know where you're watching from. And I'll see you next week for anything else. Take care and enjoy the new moon. Bye guys, stay safe.